Hello everyone, how's it going? It's your detective Ar.Ta, and I'm here to break down the finale of this legendary season. Honestly, I can say from the heart that this was a season I genuinely loved watching. There were moments when I was completely frozen, moments when I got hyped, and moments when I felt genuinely sad. And in the finale, they somehow managed to make us feel all of that in a single episode. While watching, I could literally feel the tension of, did the viltrumites reach Earth? And I could feel Mark and Eve's pain too. So without dragging this out any longer, let's dive into the episode and break down every detail. The episode doesn't try to fake us out with some did the viltrumites come or not. Instead, it opens by showing us that Mark's mind has fully become a battlefield. In other words, the war didn't end in space. The war moved into Mark's head. The viltrumites have landed on Earth, everything is falling apart, a tsunami is coming, people are dying, and you think, alright, this is it. This is the finale's apocalypse. But then we realize none of it is real. This is Mark's fear. Mark isn't afraid of getting punched anymore. He's afraid of being too late. He's afraid of losing his mother, losing Eve, losing Earth. After seeing Thragg's power, the kid is basically trapped inside his own mind. And honestly, can you even blame him? If you saw Thragg's insane strength for yourself, what would you do? That's when we realize the finale's real enemy is not just Thragg, but Mark's own mind. The man hasn't even set foot on Earth yet, and Mark has already lived through the apocalypse twice in his head. Meanwhile, things aren't exactly going great on the space side either. Allen has become the new head of the coalition, but they've basically dumped the entire galaxy on his shoulders. It's like, alright champ, a few hundred planets, trillions of lives, you got this. If you hand a responsibility like that to someone with zero experience, of course they're going to crack under that kind of pressure. If Nolan weren't a viltrumite, he would absolutely be the new leader. Unlike Mark, Nolan's first instinct is, if the viltrumites really went to Earth, don't rush in right away, let's make a plan first. That shows Nolan's battle intelligence. He has real leader potential, but Mark still acts with his heart. Before his father can even finish the plan, Mark launches himself toward Earth. Why? Because his mother is there. The woman he loves is there. His home is there. And that's exactly what makes Mark a hero, and what destroys him too. When he lands on Earth, there's that first moment of relief. Silence. No destruction, no viltrumites in sight. But instead of calming Mark down, it makes him even more paranoid. He can't stop thinking they could show up at any second. I'd say, dude, just breathe a little. But after everything he's been through for 4 seasons, I honestly get it. Still, he needs help because this paranoia is driving him insane. He goes to hug his mother and suddenly he sees Thragg brutally killing Debbie. Look, this isn't just some fake out scene you brush past. This scene shows us that Mark is no longer just seeing the enemy. He's living even the possibility of it as if it's real. And somehow, you're gonna get through this too, Mark. You're invincible. The Debbie and Nolan scene is the hardest clash in the episode, even without a single punch being thrown. Nolan says, seeing Oliver like that broke my heart. And Debbie fires back, you'd need a heart for it to break. Man, that line isn't just anger. That's years of pain. She's throwing all of Nolan's damage right back in his face and making it clear that none of it can be erased with one apology. But I also think this, Debbie isn't being that harsh just because she hates him. It's actually the opposite. She's this harsh because deep down, she still feels something. And the most important thing Nolan does here isn't show strength. It's that he holds himself back. The old Nolan would have taken that moment somewhere very different. But now, for the first time, he's genuinely trying to act human. He doesn't want to be forgiven by force, although when he says, you have to give me a chance, you can still hear little traces of that old arrogance. Even so, going from the Omniman we met in Season 1 to this version of Nolan is an incredible character journey. And when Debbie and Nolan go to see Oliver together, even though Debbie is still angry, it really feels like Nolan might slowly win her over. I think we could see this family reconciled by Season 5. Now let's talk about Eve. Eve got her powers back, she's focused on school, and while Mark was gone, she tried to pull her life together somehow. From the outside, she looks like she's doing better, but she's not. The secrets she's been hiding are eating her alive. Every time she wants to tell Mark the truth, either war gets in the way or Mark's mental state does. Finally, Eve, who doesn't want to carry secrets anymore, tells Mark that she was pregnant, but after he left, she made a decision and had an abortion. And we learn that at the exact same time Mark does. That's why the scene hits like a slap. Be honest. When you watched that moment, didn't it shake you too? Or was that just me? For me, the most powerful part of that scene is that Mark doesn't look for someone to blame. He doesn't judge Eve, and he doesn't try to defend himself either. He goes straight to, I should have been here. Because at this point, this is no longer just about a relationship. If you can't be there for the person you love during the hardest moment of their life, then at some point, being a hero starts to feel like a curse. Eve's loneliness and Mark's absence collide harder here than they ever have before. And the decision made at the end of the episode is heavily shaped by that too. We'll get there in a second, but before that, I need to talk about Cecil and Nolan. Cecil is still out here operating like the professor of paranoia. He's experimenting with trans-dimensional portals alongside Sinclair, supposedly to find Robot and Monster Girl. But really, Cecil is still poking into every possibility, just in case. His fear of the viltrumites has turned him into even more of a control freak. This man is still not trustworthy, but let's be honest. In a universe like this, someone exactly like him is also kind of useful. No matter how much Nolan apologizes, Cecil still doesn't trust him. And honestly, he's right not to. The moment he hears there are around 40 viltrumites left, he does not consider the war won. And he shouldn't. If even one viltrumite can turn Earth into hell and Thragg is the one leading them, then somebody tell Elon Musk to hurry up with Mars because we're cooked. And by the way, Cecil saying, come close to dying 2,341 more times, then we'll talk, is not a random number. That's a direct callback to the number of people Nolan killed during the Chicago disaster. He's forcing Nolan to look his crimes right in the face. You can't cover up that much death with an apology. But I trust Nolan. They've been showing us his character development for 4 seasons now. Yes, this is Mark's story, but this show also gives real growth to so many side characters. Just look at Nolan in season 1, and then look at him now, and you'll see exactly what I mean. After everything that happened, Mark takes a short flight just to find a little peace. The song playing in the background fits the mood perfectly. It has that melancholic drifting through empty space feeling, and it nails it. The song is called Fragments from the Decade, and it's already on my playlist. Anyway, back to the episode. For the first time, Mark isn't flying to fight. He's flying just to keep himself from falling apart. And right when you think, okay, the kid finally got a second to breathe, Thragg shows up. And this time, it's the real Thragg. Thragg comes to give Mark an ultimatum. He says, we're going to live on Earth now. We'll blend in with humans. We'll turn this place into a new Viltrum and rebuild our bloodline. If you interfere, 37 Viltrumites will wipe out the entire planet. Alright, yeah, you're the strongest, you're the best, whatever, but what kind of peace offer is that? Have some mercy, man. Thragg isn't just threatening Mark here. He's trapping him morally, because if Mark fights, billions could die. But if he accepts, Earth could become a breeding ground for the Viltrumite race. No matter what choice the kid makes, he loses. That's why Thragg saying, you became both the savior and the destroyer, is such a brutal line. Because it hits exactly where it hurts. Mark is both saving Earth and, by allowing the Viltrumites to remain, helping destroy it. In that moment, Mark understands exactly how Oppenheimer must have felt. And just when it feels like things couldn't possibly get worse, we get Thetis' message to Allen. The message says all Viltrumites must die. It says the Scourge Virus should be used if necessary, but that virus may not only kill Viltrumites, it could also kill humans who are genetically close to them. Allen is holding a level of power that would crush anyone. And this is being handed to someone who is already barely managing the stress of running the coalition. The issue is no longer just Thragg or Mark. The real question is, are you willing to give up your humanity in order to wipe out an entire species? So no, I do not think this finale was calm at all. If anything, I think it was the most quietly sinister finale the series has ever written. The old world is over. Earth may still look like it's standing, but it is not safe anymore. Mark may still be a hero, but now his hands are tied. And if Thragg hasn't started the war yet, it's not because he's showing mercy, it's because he's waiting for the right moment. Now you see why I called this finale legendary, right? Between the virus and the Viltrumites, humanity is in serious trouble. Personally, I don't think Allen would ever use the virus, but if the coalition somehow learns about it, and if the Viltrumites start reproducing on Earth, they might try to use it. So what do you think? Was Mark right to accept the ceasefire, or did Thragg get exactly what he wanted? Let's talk in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Until the next video, take care.